What is up, everybody? Welcome back to SevereMMA, and today we are joined by the man himself, the star of the week in the future, Ian Garry. Just moments after the win and only hours before the fight tomorrow night at UFC 298. Ian, how are things? Long time no speak. Are you good? Are you well?
I'm great. You know what I mean? I'm happy. I'm excited to get back in there tomorrow. This was you know what, Sean? Every weight cut seems to get easier. I don't know how, but it's just like me and my team are just getting better and better and better and better. And I literally got on the scales I think I got on the scales at 9:20ish. I didn't want to be down there until 10 o'clock. I normally take my time, I rest, I relax, I get up a bit later, I let everyone go earlier. But I got up, I jumped in the scales and the weight flew off me. I was like, all right, okay, let's go. So happy, in good energy, and ready to go to ceremonials tonight now and put on a show.
What was the situation like the preparation? Because obviously you had pneumonia not too long ago in the grand scheme of things. You were supposed to fight at 299, then they turned it into 298. What was that like? Was that tough, or was it a bit different, obviously, than usual?
So the truth is, after getting diagnosed with flu that developed into pneumonia, I literally just went, well, look, I physically can't fight. Dr. D, the UFC doctor, has come in and said, not a chance. Like, if you were fighting the end of January, I'd be still a bit worried. So I went, okay, I can't fight until at least February. Let's go back, spend Christmas and New Year's in UK and Ireland. Let's rest, relax, and let's enjoy this recovery process. Let's give it the time and respect it deserves, because I want to hit the ground running this year again. I've lost time in my mind to make up for. That was a fight I was looking forward to. That was a fight that got taken away from me, and I'm annoyed by that.
That fight, so obviously you were supposed to fight Vicente Luque, and you had the whole Killcliff or Skillfit thing, which was always going to happen. There was just too many welterweights at Killcliff.
Sure.
I remember during that there was like, oh, will you go back to Killcliff? And I remember Andy actually reached out to yourself and the team and you said you will. How come you didn't go back to Killcliff? Is it because the fight didn't happen, or what was the reason for that?
Honestly, just being in Brazil, just the energy, and there is so many things about Brazil right now that I'm finding so much to learn from and to basically take advantage of. The energy at Shoot the Box and the willingness of the people in that team to help elevate you to get you to the next spot is phenomenal. The team energy is amazing. But then to be learning jiu-jitsu from Damian Maia, I believe that to me is one of the bigger things as well, because Damian's so specific with me. He looks after me so well, and I'll give him all the credit he deserves. He wants to help me succeed. He wants to give me the best advice, the best technique in grappling that he possibly can. And I'm very grateful for that. And to be honest, when I look at the division, most of them are grapplers above me. Therefore, they're all going to try to put me in my back. So to train and really have that kind of one-on-one time with Maya, and then you match it with Shoot the Box, it just sounds like there's too much to take out of Brazil right now, and I can't go anywhere else other than back to Brazil after this fight as well.
Right, so on Brazil, there seems to be this thing now, this Brazil versus Ireland thing. I don't know if you've seen much of it.
There's no Brazil versus Ireland. I don't know. I haven't seen anything. But okay. Can I just clarify? There's no Brazil versus Ireland. It's both. It's both. My wife is Brazilian. I'm Irish. I have family now in Brazil. I have family in Ireland. I have friends in Brazil, in Ireland. I represent both. I just want the Brazilian audience to know how much I care about them and how much I want them to know that when I'm fighting, I'm representing them too. If I'm training in Brazil and I'm training with all these guys, I want Brazilians to know that I'm representing that flag as well. But make no mistake, Sean. I'm the guy who's getting the UFC back to Dublin. I've been ranting and raving about that. You've been hearing that coming out of my mouth for how many fights now? There ain't anybody else able to say it, is there? There ain't anybody else pushing it like I am, right? I'm doing everything I can for Irish MMA right now. I'm a top 10 in the UFC right now. There isn't another guy like that. There's the best star in the world in Conor, and then there's me. That's what we've got right now. And we've obviously got talent that's coming in and coming in and coming in. But the truth is, I need to keep doing me to help everybody else. So I'm doing my stuff for Irish MMA. I'm pushing it. I'm growing it. I'm trying to get it back. And I'm going to get it back. I just hope the UFC don't try, say, oh, you're too big now. Say, I'm going back. We're going back to the UFC. We're getting them in Dublin, for sure.
On that though, right, so I've disagreed with you on this, right, and you said you want to have 2 or 3 more fights before you get to the title type of thing, and I disagree with you in a positive way, because I think you should get there quicker, right? But if you are to have those 2 or 3 more fights, let's say it is a Colby or a Strickland, or let's say you have to fight, Shavkat or Bilal, whoever it might be, one of those fights could easily headline an Irish card. So wouldn't it make sense that you wouldn't be too big if you do want to have those 2 or 3 more fights?
My only concern is with the amount, I am still, the last 2 pay-per-views I've been on, I've been by far the most searched and most talked about fighter on the card. For good or bad, I don't care what it is, I'm still the most talked about. It means I'm doing something right. Love me or hate me, I don't care. Right? I just hope that the UFC understand that Irish MMA is so important for this sport. We've seen it with Conor. We've seen it with his rise and how they took over Las Vegas and anywhere that man went. Why don't we tap into that? Why don't we go back and relight that fire and put it in the heart of Ireland, put it in Dublin, put the show on? Do you know what I mean? I understand your point of view from the fight scenario, like having 2 or 3 more and you should be fighting for a belt. Truth is, after I beat Geoff, it is 3 more and then I want my title shot. When I beat Geoff, it'll be the 3rd ranked opponent I've beat. It'd be the first guy in the top 10. Then I want Kobe. Then I want a guy who's going to be up at the top of that division. And then it's the belt. And then that's my 5-6 fight plan. It's all going to come to fruition. And the reason that plan is there is because I don't need to rush. I want to earn it. I've told you this. I don't want anything ever handed to me. I want to earn it. And nobody says, if I go out and I beat D-Rod, I beat Magny, I beat Neal, I beat Kobe, and let's say, for example, I beat Bilal. I beat those 5 guys, and then whoever's the champion, let's just use Leon because he's a champion right now. You cannot argue that I don't deserve a title shot.
I agree. I would argue even earlier, but maybe that's a discussion for another day. Just the last thing.
Well, there we go. That's fine. That's an argument I can deal with. And I'm even saying it deserves earlier. It's fine. Yeah. Just saying I don't deserve it. It's a different story.
I don't think there's that many people saying that. Of all the things people have said about you, not many people talk about your skill set and all of that. Like very few, you know.
And isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame that if we were talking about one of the greatest prospects in any other sport, we'd be talking about their skill set? If this was football or soccer and we had the next Lionel Messi, everyone would be like, have you seen that guy play?
But is that a thing you've had to realize, right? And obviously you've talked about this, you've talked about disrupting the sport and having a plan. Like, this sport is not like any other fucking sport, let's be honest. We wouldn't have an open homophobe as a world champion in any other sport like Sean Strickland. It just wouldn't happen. MMA is not like any other sport. Have you felt that over the last while?
For sure. I mean, when you give someone like him a mic, it's a fucking massive liability. Do you know what I mean? You are putting yourself in a hole when you give that guy a mic, because truth is, you don't know what's coming out of his mouth. And this is where the UFC need to elevate. We have a voice and we have power when we step onto a mic, and we have power to inspire the younger generations, but also to anyone who watches. It's not even about younger generations. The truth is, people look at us. They look up to us. I know, because I was that kid. I know, because I watched Conor, and I grew up watching that, and I was inspired by everything he did. So I'm speaking from a personal point of view, but also from a point of view, I'm here now. There's some kid somewhere in the world who's a striker and goes, I want to be an MMA world champion. And Ian Garry is the guy I want to be like. Now I go out there and I can be an absolute arsehole and say all the things that I could say about people. Or I can go, I've got a goal and a dream to be the best in the world. I've got a legacy that I know I want to create and I want to leave behind. And battling online and getting into toxic arguments with people like Sean Strickland, it just shows that our sport needs an evolution. It needs people like me, the new age, to come in and go, I'm not going to sit here and talk about other people's wives and attack their families in a vicious, violent, aggressive way repeatedly to the point where it's almost harassing. I'm going to do my fight, and I'm going to let my fight do the talking. I'm going to excite everyone in the world when I go out there on Saturday night and knock out Geoff Neal.
How disappointing then was it that sentiment turned into like reality at the press conference, everyone booing you last night? That must have been crazy.
You know what's fucking funny, mate? This is where the fans are crazy. They cheered when my wife walked out, and then they boo me when I walk out. It's like, what the fuck? I'm the one who's getting in that octagon and fighting. But the truth is, and I've said this to you many, many, many times, and this isn't a negative towards any fan on the planet. I don't fight for fans. I don't care if there's fans there or there's not fans there or there's everyone in the world. I fight because I like to fight. I won my world title in your call during COVID. There was no fans there. I did it for me. I've never fought for anybody else on this planet, and I never will. I do it because it's what I love, and it was my dream to be a world champion. It was my dream to be a UFC fighter. I'm living it. I'm enjoying it, and I'm not letting anybody stop me.
Last couple of things, Ian. I really appreciate the time. I know you have to get back to drinking a bit of water and eating a bit of food there.
I've got it in. Look at that. I've got Paulo Costa gave me a secret juice.
Oh, Jesus. I'd be careful. Stay away from you, Sad, after drinking that. Geoff Neal, it's a very...
Dad is not here anymore,
Oh,
Paul.
yeah, I forgot about that. No harm.
Get
rid of him.
And that pisses me off. We need better fucking testing.
Fair enough. Maybe that's a chat for another day. Geoff Neal. Geoff Neal's a dangerous guy. You know, he hits very, very hard. But look, your style is a great style for Geoff Neal. Long, tall. I remember talking to you about Akhmat back in the day, and you told me you were going to jab the nose off him. Is that what's going to happen tomorrow night as well? Is it a nose jabber of a fight?
Yeah, kind of. So Geoff has had problems with long-range fighters in his career. His 4 losses are against Neil Magny, Shavkat, Wonderboy, and Kevin Holland. Add Ian Garry to that list. All the guys over 6 foot that are well able to control range, that aren't worried about big power shots, that can control the distance and utilize multiple shots at range. Geoff's a phenomenal fighter. I don't disrespect him or look past him in any way, but he's not me. He's not me. He doesn't have the speed I have. He doesn't have the fight IQ that I have. He's not going to be able to deal with the amount of shot selection I'm going to throw at him. I'm going to throw something at his leg, then I'm going to throw something at his head. I'm going to throw something at his head, then his body, then his leg, then his head. He's going to have to react to all of these things. And when he makes a mistake, I'll capitalize. This is a fight where you're going to see my fight IQ play out more than ever. He's got a big left hand. He hits like a truck. Trust me, I'm aware of that, and I'm ready for that. But so do I. So do I. Do you know what I mean? I'm the one knocking guys out that have never been knocked out before. D-Rob. I'm the guy going out there and beating up the most winningest welterweight of all time and making it look like he's never fought before, Neil Magny. Geoff Neal's just another part in my story. That's the truth. He'll be able to sit down one day and tell his kids, I fought that guy. I fought Ian Machado Garry, and he whooped my ass.
I like it. Last thing. We're an Irish MMA podcast. This is SevereMMA. I interviewed before your pro debut. It's my claim to fame, and it'll continue to be. There's no Irish embargo. There's no too big for Ireland. Ian Garry, you want to be back in Ireland, don't you? You want to be back headlining. Tell the people.
Look at this. When I walk out there, what flag comes up beside my name?
The tricolour.
Ireland, the Irish flag. Could the tricolour come? Do you know what I mean? Where was I born? Where was I bred? Where did I start all this? Where did I find the dream and the want and the will and the inspiration? Ireland. I went back to Ireland recently and I got nothing but love from every single person I met. It was phenomenal. It was really motivational to go back and feel the love. So I just want everybody to know that when I fight, enjoy it. When I fight, get ready, because the better I do, the more it means to Irish MMA. I'm going to shout and scream from the rafters. Don't believe that I'm not going to pull Dana and Hunter aside and talk to them about Dublin and getting it back and finding out a way to do it. Don't think that I haven't thought about getting on the Conor McGregor card so that everyone in Irish MMA can go fucking nuts. I've thought about all this. We've got the biggest star in the sport in our country, in Conor McGregor. He's fighting Michael Chandler soon. Why not put Ian Machado Garry and Kobe Covington as the co-main? Why not really ham up the Irish? Why not take advantage of the biggest sporting fan base you've ever had, take over the UFC, which is the Irish, and just run with it? I'm going to earn my spot inside the top 10. I'm going to get to 8 or 7 this week when I knock out Geoff Neal. And I'm going to call out Colby Covington. And the UFC are going to make that matchup because it's the most interesting matchup that they can make at that weight division for me and for Colby. There's a lot of shit that will be talked. There's a lot of hype that will go into that fight. There's a lot of people that will talk about that fight. It's the biggest fight that can be made. And I'll be representing Ireland. But make no mistake about it. There is no too big for anything. I'm a kid from Dublin, Ireland. I have so much love for Ireland. Just doesn't have the sunshine. And I get a bit cold.
17 degrees today. Roasting. You'll be sweating.
If I look at what it was in Brazil, you'd be mortified. It's probably about 35.
I'm getting the barbecue out here. It's warming up. It's warming up.
There is never any too big for any place or anything in the world. There is a goal to learn and to grow and to be the best in the world. But trust me when I say I have not forgotten my roots and where I came from, and I am not this person that's never represented Ireland. I am always representing Ireland. The truth is, it's up to the fans to connect to it. And you guys, and that's all I've ever seen is fans give me absolute love and joy when I've been back home. So I don't know what's going on with the media, but if there's something there that they're saying Ian Garry's not Irish anymore and he's not representing the Irish, then check out the name, check out the flag that pops up later on, tomorrow night, or tonight, or last night. Check the flag. You tell me what it is.
Ian, thank you very much for the time. I appreciate it. It's like the old days, the old team back together, and it won't be the last time we do it. Thanks very much. Best of luck tomorrow night.
I appreciate it, Cam. Take care. All the best.